A UN spokesman told the Reuters news agency Monday Turkish and United Nations teams have restarted vessel inspections under the Black Sea grain exports agreement after Russia suspended its participation in the deal Sunday. Russia said it had halted its role in the deal for an indefinite term because it could not guarantee the safety of civilian ships after a drone attack on its Black Sea fleet off the coast of Crimea this weekend. Speaking to VOA's Flashpoint program Monday, correspondent Dorian Jones in London said Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan, who worked with the UN to help broker the deal, has also given his assurances grain would continue to move despite Russia's threats.
President Erdogan has reiterated his commitment to the continuation of this deal, and in very carefully worded language did criticize President Putin, saying that Russia is behaving hesitantly towards this, but he said they are going to use all their diplomatic efforts to get this deal to continue. And on the ground, for at least for now, the deal does seem to be continuing. In fact, today, ironically, saw a record amount of grain being exported in the region of 350,000 tons, and all the other parties involved in this deal said they are going to continue with this deal. So in many ways, they are probably trying to call Russia's bluff.
Meanwhile, Russian missile strikes on electrical infrastructure continued in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, and elsewhere overnight. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said the strikes left some 80% of Kyiv residents without water. He said the supplies would be restored in most parts of the city within 4 hours, but many residents rushed to the shops to buy bottled water. Ukraine Presidential Office Deputy Kyrylo Tymoshenko said Russian missiles targeted electrical installations in a number of Ukrainian regions. This is VOA News. More than 300 Iranian journalists have demanded the release of 2 colleagues jailed for their coverage of Mahsa Amini, the 22-year-old woman whose death in custody in September has triggered protests, posing one of the biggest challenges to Iran's ruling clerics in decades. Their call came in a statement published by the Iranian Internad newspapers and other media outlets Sunday. Nulfar Ahmadi took a photo of Amini's parents hugging each other in a Tehran hospital where their daughter was lying in a coma. The image, which Ahmadi posted on the social network Twitter, was the first signal to the world that all was not well with Amini, who'd been detained for 3 days by Iran's morality police for what they deemed inappropriate dress. Alaha Mohammadi covered Amini's funeral in her Kurdish hometown, where the protests began. A joint statement released by Iran's intelligence ministry and the intelligence organization of the Revolutionary Guards Friday accused the 2 journalists of being CIA foreign agents. The Iranian government has insisted the nearly 6 weeks of protests have been organized by the U.S. and other Western nations. European Union trade ministers and the U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai held talks in Prague Monday to discuss how to deal with U.S. legislation that the EU sees as discriminating against its electric car makers. The non-U.S. car makers have been angered by a U.S. $430 billion Inflation Reduction Act passed in August, which is aimed at fighting climate change and making the United States a world leader in the electrical vehicle market. The U.S. law says electric vehicles have to be assembled in North America to qualify for tax credits, which currently extend to neighboring Mexico and Canada. The EU says this discriminates against EU-made cars, while the EU extends the same tax benefits to U.S. vehicles sold in Europe and European autos. European Commission Vice President for Trade Valdis Dombrovskis said cooperation between the U.S. and the EU is strong, citing their unity regarding support for Ukraine in its war with Russia.
At the same time, there are also concerns related to the Inflation Reduction Act and its discriminatory provisions. And in this regard, we have set a joint EU-US task force to deal with those issues.
The jackpot for the U.S.-based lottery known as Powerball has reached $1 billion. Associated Press correspondent Julie Walker reports.
The multi-state lottery pot keeps growing after no one matched Saturday's numbers. One Florida ticket won the $2 million prize by matching all 5 white balls plus the power play. And 6 tickets won the $1 million prize. The $1 billion jackpot is the 5th largest in U.S. history, behind another Powerball prize and 3 Mega Millions jackpots. The biggest was an almost $1.6 billion Powerball won by 3 ticket holders in 2016. I'm Julie Walker.
Hi, thank you for watching. I hope the videos are useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel using the button below.